Hi, I'm Dr. Renee Thornton, a founding member of Pathfinder Resilience and the creator of the Navigating Adversity training programs. I wanted to share with you just a little bit about who I am and what brought me to this place so that you can understand kind of the impetus behind the creation of Navigating Adversity. When I got out of the military, I really struggled to assimilate into the civilian workplace. And ultimately, I had to make a tough decision about me being a better entrepreneur than an employee. And so I started a consultancy, and I was really happy doing the work that I was doing in corporate America, basically focused on performance and improving processes inside of the work environment and leadership development and just helping companies sharpen up their processes and helping people do better at work. It was a really fun experience. It was a great job. I loved my career. And I still kept in touch with a lot of the service members that I served with in the military. One of them was a super good friend of mine, and I thought we were really close, and we talked often. And I thought he was doing well. And one day my phone rings, and I was being notified that he committed suicide, which threw me completely, I have to admit. I wasn't ready to hear that, and I was not warned ahead of time. There were no signs or symptoms or signals or, the things that people tell you to watch for, they weren't there. And if they were, I didn't see them. But I decided then and there that I was going to change my professional trajectory and that I was going to dedicate the rest of my educational journey toward my doctorate on crisis intervention, because I believe 100%, and I still believe it today, that suicide is an absolutely preventable situation. So I really began to focus in on the things that led to his suicide. I started to do interviews and talk to other people who knew him and really dive into his daily activities. I wanted to understand, where was his mind? What was he thinking? What made him believe that suicide was the ultimate solution to the trouble that he was living? What trouble was he living? Was it a trauma-associated situation? And I guess I really believed that it was. I thought what caused him to kill himself was something that happened to him when he served in the military. God knows there's plenty of trauma in it. But ultimately what I concluded, and his friends and family members agreed, was that his struggle wasn't trauma-associated. His struggle was trying to figure out how to live life on these new terms. In the military, and in the first response profession, even to a certain extent, in public safety and in a lot of our professions, in hospitals, we have uniforms that we wear. We are told to be in a certain place at a certain time. There are very specific expectations that are laid out, and it takes the responsibility of taking care of ourselves kind of off of our shoulders and placed elsewhere. And in this case, that's really what caused him so much distress. Was he didn't really know how to day take good care of himself. He didn't know what that looked like. And he just kept choosing bad coping mechanisms, too much alcohol, too many sex partners, like not settling down and really figuring out what it is he wanted out of his life, something bigger than himself. He'd lost that grasp on purpose. So his life and ultimately his death became a component of how I discovered the 8 dimensions of what it meant to be, or what it means to be, a healthy, happy human. Because so many people just assume that physical health is really the most important element. That's only one of 8, so it's not the most important. So that experience, in a way, I have to be thankful for it, because it's what propelled me to discover that more people struggle with mental distress for non-trauma specific things than the people who struggle because of a trauma. So the other thing that I think is really interesting that I want you to understand is that, trauma comes in all shapes and sizes, and it impacts people differently. So the loss of a loved one is an incredibly traumatic experience to some people. Divorce, that can shake you to your absolute core, to lose someone you love so much you dedicated your life to that person. Trouble raising children, that can be incredibly traumatic. Drug addiction, substance abuse, lots and lots of things that we find ourselves having to learn how to deal with in this life are traumatic experiences. And they do lead us to distressful symptoms. The top 5 most common being depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and then stress that comes from our occupation or our company. So knowing these things are the problem. Like, these are the adversities we face. I dug into this belief that I had that, okay, instead of focusing on like a pharmacological solution, instead of asking for a prescription to mask the symptoms, what did we really need to be able to do for ourselves to overcome these adversities? And I believed that the more positive attributes we could build in ourselves, the less impact the negative stuff would ultimately have. And that is what became the foundation of navigating adversity, because we navigate adversity by preparing for it, by creating what we call wellness capital, investing in the 8 different dimensions of what it really means to be healthy and happy and to live our best lives. And so I welcome you to join me in the journey that is navigating adversity. I invite you to watch the videos that we have posted on our website, get to know our process, understand what makes us different, take a look at the research, and then decide for yourself whether or not you're ready to start this journey. I hope that you are, because I welcome you to join me on it. I do it every single day. I live this program every day in multiple ways, and it has made all the difference in the world to me. So I'm excited that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you in our online classroom.